What do you see when you hear the word Afghanistan? A battlefield? A headline? A tragedy? What if you're wrong? What if beneath the dust of conflict lies one of the oldest crossroads in human history, a land of kings, poets, empires, and landscapes so unreal they look like another planet? And the real question is, why has the world never been allowed to see this side? There is a moment, just before dawn, when Afghanistan feels like it's holding its breath. The mountains stand frozen in the blue dark. The desert lies silent, as if waiting. The air itself feels tight, like a bowstring pulled to its limit. In this moment, the whole land seems to whisper one question. Will the world ever see me as I truly am? For decades, the answer has been no. The world has looked at Afghanistan through a single crack in a shattered window, seeing only conflict, only fear, only the darkness of its hardest years. But every land has two stories. One story is written by headlines. The other is written by centuries of memory, beauty, culture, and human spirit. And Afghanistan's true story, the one buried beneath misunderstanding, is far older, deeper, and more extraordinary than the world imagines. This is not the Afghanistan of breaking news. This is the Afghanistan of history, of travel, of forgotten wonder. This is the Afghanistan that refuses to be broken. Long before modern borders, before cameras, before conflict, Afghanistan was the crossroads of the world. It was not a battleground. It was a meeting place. Merchants carried jade from China and gold from Rome across its valleys. Persian scholars traveled its caravanserais, trading poetry for knowledge. Indian monks crossed its mountains on their way to spread Buddhism eastward. Arab traders camped beneath its stars, sharing stories beside desert fires. The Silk Road did not simply pass through Afghanistan. It thrived because of Afghanistan. Standing in the dusty ruins of Balkh, once called the mother of cities, you can almost hear the echoes? Hooves on stone. Voices bargaining. Languages mixing like currents in a river. For thousands of years, Afghanistan was not a forgotten corner of the world. It was its spine. Civilization flowed through here. And it left marks that still speak today. Travel east, and the landscape shifts. Mountains part to reveal the Bamyan Valley. Quiet, golden, haunting. At first glance, it seems peaceful. Too peaceful. But the tension hangs there too. The weight of what once stood in those cliffside hollows. For nearly 2,000 years, two colossal Buddha statues gazed across the valley. They were masterpieces carved into rock, taller than cathedrals. Built by artists who blended Greek form, Persian grace, and Buddhist devotion. Pilgrims traveled for months to see them. Then, in one moment, a moment the world still remembers, they were destroyed. The world saw the destruction. But the world missed something important. Bamyan did not collapse. The valley still glows gold at sunset. Children still run through the wheat fields. The caves behind the statues still smell of ancient incense. And the local Hazara people still tell stories of a time when the giants watched over them. Lost-shaped Bamyan. But it did not silence it. Sometimes the most powerful beauty is the beauty that survives violence. Venture deeper into Afghanistan and the mountains rise around you. Cold, massive, unyielding. The Hindu Kush range does not welcome you. It challenges you. The passes are narrow. The winds are sharp. The roads twist like ancient scars. Every traveler who enters these mountains feels the same thing. Tension between awe and fear. And yet, people live here. Not just live, they thrive. Villages cling to cliffs like stubborn prayers. Children race barefoot through icy streams. Shepherds lead their goats across ridges that disappear into cloud. Here, history is not something you read. It is something you walk through. Alexander the Great crossed these peaks. Genghis Khan stormed through their valleys. Empires rose and fell in the shadow of these stones. And still, the mountains remain. Silent, indifferent, eternal. In the heart of this harshness, Afghans learned resilience. They learned to bend without breaking. They learned to endure storms until the sky cleared. These mountains built a people who cannot be defeated. Move south and everything changes. The cold vanishes. The land widens. Heat shimmers across horizons that look infinite. The deserts of Afghanistan are both beautiful and merciless. The Rajasthan desert moves with the wind. Its dunes shift like living creatures, changing shape every morning. Nomads travel these sands, their camels moving in long, quiet lines. Their lives are written by seasons. Go where the grass grows, move when the wells run dry. And then there is Dasht-e-Margot, the desert of death. A place that tests the limits of endurance. But even here, life refuses to surrender. A lone flower growing beside a dry riverbed. A tent glowing with firelight at dusk. A shepherd singing to keep himself awake on the night watch. In the desert, tension is constant. Life and death are never far apart. But so is beauty. Stare into a desert sunset in Afghanistan, and you will understand why nomads never leave. It is harsh. It is unforgiving. It is breathtaking. When travelers reached Herat in the west, they entered a city built not from stone, but from art. Herat was the cradle of Afghan culture. A place where poets, theologians, astronomers, and painters found refuge. The Friday Mosque still stands, its tiles glowing deep blue, its minarets leaning into the sky like reaching hands. If the desert is Afghanistan's severity, Herat is its grace. In its bazaars, copper workers hammer pots with rhythmic precision. Saffron vendors fill the air with sweet scents. Children chase each other through courtyards painted in patterns older than their ancestors. Herat was once compared to Florence, a city of Renaissance brilliance. But with Afghan soul, travelers may come for its beauty, but they stay for its stories. Princes who studied poetry. Sufi mystics who claimed to hear God in the rustling leaves. Artists who painted miniature masterpieces as delicate as breath. Herat is a reminder that Afghanistan is not only history. It is legacy. But the greatest tension in Afghanistan is not found in the mountains, or the deserts, or the ruins. It is found in its people. A tension between sorrow and joy. Between hardship and hospitality. Between loss and laughter. Afghans are warriors. Not in violence, but in spirit. They are proud. They are poetic. They are impossibly generous. A traveler in Afghanistan will have this experience again and again. A stranger invites you into their home. They offer you tea and bread. They place their best food in front of you, even if it means they will go without. Hospitality is not an act. It is identity. And beneath their toughness, there is tenderness. A love for family, for culture, for God. For the land that raised them. Kite-flying children race across rooftops. Mothers weave rugs with stories in their patterns. Elders recite Rumi by memory. Young men sing folk songs beside rivers. Girls play hand-clapping games in narrow alleyways. The world sees conflict. But Afghans live life. Every day. Every moment. Despite everything. Afghanistan is a country pulled between two narratives. The one the world tells. And the one the land itself tells. The world sees ruins. But Afghanistan remembers the empires that came before them. The world sees struggle. But Afghanistan remembers centuries of art, culture, and science. The world sees danger. But travelers see some of the warmest people on earth. The world sees war. But the land remembers peace. And through every challenge, every invasion, every hardship, every headline, Afghanistan has remained what it has always been. A land that endures. A land that remembers. A land that refuses to be broken. To truly see Afghanistan, you must stand in the tension. Between beauty and pain. Between ancient and modern. Between silence and storm. You must stand where a valley glows gold. Where mountains tear the sky open. Where deserts swallow footprints by sunrise. Where a blue mosque shines like a jewel. Where a family invites you in for tea with no hesitation. And in that moment, you will understand something the world has forgotten. Afghanistan is not defined by its suffering. It is defined by its strength. It is not defined by its scars. It is defined by the people who carry them. And still rise every morning. This is the side of Afghanistan the world has not seen. The side that breathes. The side that remembers. The side that dreams.